My beloved child, listen to me. Do not rush past this moment. Something holy is reaching for you through these words. Heaven saw the way your heart jumped when you read that title. Fear shot through your body. Your breath changed, and a quiet whisper said, "This might be about you." You are not here by accident. You were led here. You were drawn by a love that refuses to lose you or your child. My beloved child, I am the voice of protection. I speak from a realm your eyes cannot see, but your spirit feels. I stand where danger ends and divine help begins. You are so tired inside. Tired of worrying about your son. Tired of pretending you are not scared of losing him. You have carried silent pictures in your mind. Pictures of a phone call you dread. Pictures of an empty bed, an empty chair, an empty future. You have replayed past moments, over and over. The arguments, the missed signs, the things you wish you had done differently. You have asked, where did I go wrong? You have cried in secret places. In cars, in bathrooms, in dark rooms where no one could see you. You have muffled your sobs so your family would not hear. You see your son drifting. Drifting into danger, drifting into despair, drifting into decisions that scare you. You feel like you are losing him, piece by piece. Some of you see your son fighting a sickness. Machines, reports, whispered updates from tired voices. You have stared at ceilings and begged heaven for one more day. Some of you see your son trapped in habits that want to swallow him. Substances, crowds, choices that pull him away from who he truly is. The glow in his eyes has dimmed, and you miss the light he used to carry. Some of you barely hear from your son at all. Distance has become a silent wall. You stalk his pages, watch his last scene, and wonder if he is still breathing. You are haunted by the thought, what if I lose him? What if I cannot save him? What if I am forced to live with a pain I cannot survive? My beloved child, heaven heard that question. Heaven caught every tear that fell while no one was watching. Heaven felt every tremor in your chest when you imagined the worst. Archangel Michael says, I have been standing closer than you think. I have watched over your son when you did not know where he was. I have stood by his bed when you were too tired to pray. I have been there in the car, in the alley, in the room. I have stood between him and things that wanted to take him. You have no idea how many times he has already been saved. This title shook you for a reason. Not to torment you, but to wake something inside you that has been numb from too much pain. Listen carefully, beloved. The threat is real. But the story is not what you fear. There is a plan that tried to mark your son. A shadow that whispered, he will not live long. A lie that has trailed your family line like a curse. For some of you, men in your bloodline have left early. Accidents, sickness, violence, choices that snatched their breath too soon. You learned to expect loss, even when you never said it out loud. You have wondered why joy never stays. Why peace feels like a visitor, not a resident. Why your heart always anticipates bad news. Archangel Michael says, that pattern is not random. It is not just bad luck. It is a design of darkness that heaven is tearing apart right now. Your son has been standing at a thin line. A place where despair and destiny collide. A place where one choice could drag him under, or lift him into light. This message is not to tell you he will be taken. This message is to tell you heaven has interrupted the taking. Heaven has broken into the room where death thought it would win. Feel this in your body as you listen. Your chest, your stomach, your hands. Something is loosening that has been clenched for too long. Your fear has wrapped itself around your love. You love your son so fiercely that it hurts. You are scared that your love is not enough to keep him safe. You blame yourself for things you could not have controlled. You replay that one decision, that one season, that one moment. You tell yourself, if only I had done this, he would be different. My beloved child, release that. You are not powerful enough to ruin his destiny. You are also not weak enough to erase all the good you have already planted in him. There are things your son is walking through that have nothing to do with your failure. He has his own battles, his own scars, his own unseen wars. He has been bruised in ways he never learned to say out loud. He has questions about his worth. He has questions about whether his life matters. He has quiet aches he covers with loud choices. There were moments he looked into a mirror and hated himself. Moments he felt like a burden. Moments he wondered if anyone would truly miss him. Heaven saw every single moment. Heaven never turned away, even when you and he did. Heaven never called him lost, even when the world did. My beloved child, I am speaking to the fear of losing him. I am also speaking to the death already trying to live inside him. The death of hope, the death of joy, the death of purpose. Archangel Michael says, that death is being confronted right now. As you listen, a war is taking place over your son. The words you are hearing are weapons being placed in your hands. You have felt helpless. You thought all you could do was sit and wait. Wait for news, wait for calls, wait for someone else to fix it. But you are not powerless. You are not just a spectator. You are a partner with heaven in the rescue of your child. Listen to what I am telling you. Your voice carries authority over your bloodline. Your words can open doors or close them. You have spoken out of fear, because you were hurting. You have said, he is just like his father, just like those before him. You have said, he will never change, he is going to destroy himself. Those words were not evil, they were scared. They came from a place of disappointment and exhaustion. But today heaven is asking you to trade them. Trade fear words for life words. Trade curses for blessings. Trade giving up for standing up. My beloved child, your son is standing closer to a turnaround than you realize. The pressure you see on his life is not just destruction. It is also the sign that his story matters more than you know. The greater the pull toward darkness, the greater the purpose pulling him toward light. No target is painted this brightly without a reason. Archangel Michael says, your son is marked by heaven. There is a warrior inside him, even if right now you see only chaos. There is a healer inside him, even if right now he is the one bleeding. There are words he will speak one day that will rescue others. Stories he will tell that will pull people back from edges he has known. His pain is trying to be turned into a permanent prison, but heaven plans to make it a doorway. Right now, death wants his future. Not just his breath, but his future. Death wants to silence what he has not yet even begun to release. This is why you feel such terror at the thought of losing him. Your spirit knows his life matters beyond your household. Your heart knows there is more to his story than what you see. Beloved, pay attention to this. The title that caught you feels like it is about a moment. But heaven is talking about a turning point. The death that is near is not the final ending of your son. It is the death of a season, the death of an assignment against him. It is the death of a script that tried to write him out of his own life. Heaven is saying, something that was trying to finish him is about to be finished instead. The hunter is becoming the hunted. The cycle that stalked your family is reaching its last chapter. But this requires your yes. Your agreement, your alignment, your willingness to stand in the gap. Do not watch this message like a movie. Step into it like a calling. This is not entertainment. This is enlistment. Your prayers have been small because your hope has been small. You have prayed from fear more than from faith. You have asked just for survival instead of transformation. Archangel Michael says, lift your expectation. Lift your language. Lift your imagination about what heaven can do with your son. Do not settle for, let him just not die. Ask for, let him truly live. Ask for, heal his mind, his heart, his history, his future. There is a moment, unseen to you, that is very close. A crossroads in his soul. A choice he will make, a word he will hear, a thought he will consider. This message is preparing the ground for that moment. Your response right now will echo into that unseen turning. What you choose to believe, say, and do carries weight. You feel the urgency, I know. You feel the shaking inside. You feel like something is counting down, even if you cannot see it. Do not let this urgency push you into panic. Let it push you into presence. Into awareness, into action, into alignment with heaven. First, breathe. Place your hand over your heart as you listen. Feel your own life pulsing under your skin. Say within yourself, even if only in a whisper, my son belongs to heaven. His story is not finished, and fear will not write the ending. You do not have to shout it. You do not have to be perfect. You only have to mean it. There is a spiritual weight shifting as you agree. Threads of fear untangling. Old words losing their power. Next, release the guilt you have held. The guilt that says, I failed him, I ruined him, I was not enough. That guilt chains your hands when heaven is trying to place weapons in them. Archangel Michael says, I saw you doing your best with what you had. I saw you stay when you wanted to run. I saw you feed him when you were starving in your own soul. I saw you hold your own pain so he would not have to hold it. I saw you try, and try, and try again. You are not a perfect parent, but you are a chosen one. Chosen not because you are flawless. Chosen because your heart, even broken, is willing to love. Chosen because heaven knew you would still be here, still reaching, even after everything. Let the weight of self-blame slide off your shoulders. You cannot carry your son and your shame at the same time. One of them has to go. Heaven is not asking you to pretend you never made mistakes. Heaven is asking you to stop letting those mistakes define who you are. Apologize where you need to, but then move forward. Your son does not need a perfect parent. He needs a present one. He needs a parent who believes his story is not over. My beloved child, there is something else you must hear. Sometimes the fear you feel about your son is really fear about yourself. Fear you inherited from those before you, fear that says everything you love leaves. That fear has followed you like a shadow. In friendships, in love, in every bond you tried to build. It always whispers, do not get too happy, it will not last. That shadow is being challenged right now. Your son's story is not only about him. It is about breaking patterns that have stalked your own heart since you were small. Archangel Michael says, you will not watch another generation repeat the same heartbreak. You will not watch another child carry the same emptiness you carried. The pattern is meeting something stronger than itself. It is meeting the decision you are making in this very moment. The decision to trust that heaven is not teasing you. The decision to believe that rescue is possible, even now. Some of you are saying, it feels too late. He is too deep in it. Too deep in addiction, too deep in rebellion, too deep in sickness, too deep in despair. Listen to me. Darkness always looks most confident right before it breaks. Storms roar the loudest right before they empty themselves out. You are seeing the fullness of the battle right now. But you are not seeing the reinforcements heaven has already deployed. You are not seeing the dreams, the moments, the people being woven into his path. There will be a conversation that seems random, but it will not be. There will be a memory that surfaces in his mind at just the right time. There will be a sudden disgust with what is destroying him. These are not accidents. They are touches from heaven, responses to prayers you thought were ignored. Nothing you ever whispered about your son has been wasted. Every tear, every word, every long night has been gathered. They built something in the unseen, a case for mercy beyond logic. Heaven has chosen to rule in favor of your child. My beloved child, I know you also worry about his choices. You say, if he keeps choosing this, what can heaven do? He has free will. That is true. But free will is not the only force in the universe. So is relentless love. Heaven knows how to reach a heart without ripping away its freedom. Heaven knows which memories to stir, which dreams to send, which faces to put in front of him. Heaven knows how to tire him of what is killing him. Archangel Michael says, I have stood beside many sons like yours. I have seen them on cold floors, on lonely beds, on violent streets. I have watched them laugh to hide their emptiness, fight to hide their fear. And I have watched them crack open when love finally reached them. Sometimes through a stranger, sometimes through a sudden thought, sometimes through the steady love of a parent who refused to quit. I have watched the hardest faces melt when they realized they were still wanted. Your son is not unreachable. Your son is not a lost cause. Your son is not too far gone. Say that with me in your heart. He is not too far gone. Even if he is far from you right now, heaven is not far from him. Now hear this clearly. If your son is in physical danger, if you sense something is very wrong, do not ignore that. Heaven can move through your actions as much as through your prayers. If you need to call for help, call. If you need to drive, drive. If you need to knock on doors, knock. You are not being faithless by taking practical steps. You are partnering with heaven's protection. Heaven uses helpers in human form all the time. Archangel Michael says, "Do not freeze in fear. Move with wisdom, not panic. Ask within, what is the most loving step I can take right now?" For some of you, that step is a message that says, "I love you, I am here." For some, it is a boundary that says, "I will not fund your destruction anymore, but I will never stop loving you." For others, it is simply forgiving him in your heart and releasing bitterness. Do not underestimate the power of forgiveness. Bitterness ties you to the thing you fear. Forgiveness cuts cords and makes room for new possibilities. You are not saying what he did was right. You are saying, "I refuse to let your choices poison my soul. I refuse to let resentment cloud my prayers." Your son needs you clear, not clogged. He needs your love full strength, not diluted by rage. He needs your eyes that can see beyond his worst moment. My beloved child, there is a promise rising in this message. A promise that does not come from wishful thinking. A promise rooted in a love far older than your pain. The promise is this: your son's story will not end in meaningless tragedy. Even if he has walked close to the edge, even if you have smelled death in the air, his life will not be wasted. No matter what happens, heaven will wring purpose out of his every breath. For some, this will look like complete rescue in this life. A turnaround so shocking that people who knew him before will barely recognize him. Addictions breaking, anger softening, sickness lifting, dignity returning. For others, the story will win in ways you do not yet understand. Even if you have already lost a son, or if you one day face a grief you beg to avoid, know this: heaven does not abandon what it holds. There is no lost child in the arms of love. There is no wasted life inside eternity. There is only the mystery of how suffering is woven into a larger glory. But for you, listening to this now, the main word is hope. Do not bury your son before his time. Do not rehearse his funeral in your mind. Begin to rehearse his restoration. See him laughing again, healing again, living again. See him doing the very opposite of what haunts you now. Your imagination has been a weapon against you. It showed you only loss, only disaster, only pain. Now let it become an ally. Picture him walking through your door, not as a ghost of himself, but as someone reborn. Picture him apologizing, growing, choosing differently. Picture him old, gray, loved, and at peace. These are not empty daydreams. They are seeds you plant in the garden of your heart. Heaven waters them as you speak them. Every time you say, "My son will live," something shifts. Every time you say, "My son is not alone," a shadow loses ground. Every time you say, "My son was born on purpose," the lies in his mind begin to crack. Archangel Michael says, "Your words travel farther than you think. They move through realms you cannot map. They brush against your son's spirit even when he is not in the room. Speak over him when you fold his clothes. Speak over him when you see his picture. Speak over him when you hear a song that reminds you of him. Say, you are loved, you are protected, you are coming home to yourself. Say, heaven fights for you even when you do not fight for yourself. Say, you are not defined by your worst choices. My beloved child, can you feel the atmosphere shifting? The heavy dread loosening its fingers from your mind. The tightness in your chest beginning to soften. This is not a performance. This is an exchange. Heaven takes your fear and hands you courage. Courage does not mean you will never feel afraid. It means fear will no longer drive your decisions. It means love will lead, even when your hands are shaking. There is a new mantle being placed on you now. A mantle of a guardian who knows their power. A mantle of a parent, or loved one, who refuses to bow to despair. You are not just surviving this season. You are being forged in it. You are becoming someone whose very presence brings safety and peace. You are becoming someone your son will look back on and say, "They stood when everything around us was falling. They believed in me when I did not believe in myself." Archangel Michael says, "I am standing with you. You are not carrying this alone." Heaven does not outsource the protection of those you love. When you lie down, angels stand watch. When you rise, angels go ahead of you. When your son walks into places you wish he would avoid, he is not walking alone. This does not mean he will never be scratched, never be hurt, never make unwise choices. But it does mean the final word over his life does not belong to darkness. It belongs to the one who dreamed him into existence. You are part of that dream. Your love for him is not an accident. It is a thread heaven is weaving into his story. Even your imperfections are being used. Your apologies, your breakdowns, your honest moments where you say, "I do not know what to do, but I will not give up on you." Those things mark him more deeply than his wounds. My beloved child, I see you asking, "What do I do now? How do I carry this word into my ordinary days? How do I live with less fear and more faith?" Start with small, steady steps. Every day, speak one sentence of life over your son. Even if you feel nothing, speak it anyway. Every day, take one action of love. A text, a prayer, a boundary, a hug, a release of bitterness. Love is not always soft, sometimes it is firm, but it is never cruel. Every day, take one step to care for yourself. Your own health, your own heart, your own rest. You cannot pour from a cup that has become dust. Heaven does not ask you to destroy yourself to save another. Heaven asks you to stay rooted so you can be a shelter. A tree that bends in the wind but does not break. Archangel Michael says, when you feel panic rising again, remember this moment. Remember the peace that began to seep into your bones as you listened. Remember that nothing about your situation changed in the natural, yet something in you shifted. That shift in you is not small. It is the beginning of a new chapter. Because when you change, the atmosphere around your son changes. You will speak differently. You will look at him differently. You will respond to news about him differently. Instead of collapsing inside, you will stand. Instead of saying, "This is the end," you will say, "This is another turn in the road." Instead of surrendering to dread, you will surrender to love. My beloved child, your son's heart can feel more than his words admit. He feels when you have given up on him, even if you never say it. He also feels when you believe in him, even from far away. He may roll his eyes. He may push you away. He may act like nothing gets through. But love has a way of soaking in through the cracks. It hides in memories, in gestures, in ordinary moments that seem forgettable. Later, when he is alone, those moments replay. Do not despise small signs of progress. A softer tone, a longer message, a moment of honesty. These are not crumbs, they are clues. Clues that something inside him is shifting. Clues that your prayers and your love are working their slow miracle. Clues that the story is bending away from death and toward life. Archangel Michael says, do not measure hope by the news cycle of your days. Measure it by the unchanging love that holds you both. Measure it by the faithfulness that brought you to this message in the first place. You are seen. Your son is seen. Your family is not invisible to heaven. The title that shook you is bowing now to a higher truth. Yes, death came close. Yes, fear felt suffocating. But a greater word has entered the room. The word that says, live. The word that says, rise. Your son is stepping out of the grip that wanted to end him. It may take time for you to see the full fruit, but the root has already been struck. The poison in the pattern has already been confronted. From this moment forward, walk as if help is real. Talk as if rescue is possible. Love as if his future is bright, even when the sky looks dark. And when fear tries to hiss in your ear again, remember what you heard. Remember the presence that wrapped around you as you listened. Remember the promise that his story is bigger than this chapter. My beloved child, you are not alone in this battle. Heaven fights with you, for you, and around you. Your tears are seen, your love is honored, your courage is celebrated. Archangel Michael says, stand up inside. Lift your head, even if your eyes are wet. You and your son are stepping into a new season of protection, healing, and purpose. The shadow of sudden loss is lifting. The fear of getting that call is being replaced with the hope of unexpected good news. The dread of endings is making room for the surprise of new beginnings. Hold on to this. Return to it when the nights are long. Let it steady you when waves crash. You are chosen to love this son. You are chosen to stand in this gap. You are chosen to see a testimony rise from what tried to be a tragedy. Now breathe, beloved. Place your hand over your heart once more. Whisper within yourself, my son will live, my heart will heal, my family will rise. Heaven echoes that whisper back to you, stronger, louder, truer. Life is speaking over you both. And the final word is not fear, not death, but love. Stay with me, beloved. Do not rush away from this encounter. There is still more heaven wants to place in your hands. Your heart asked for more because something in you woke up. A part of you that had gone quiet under the weight of worry. A part of you that remembers what it feels like to hope. You are not greedy for comfort. You are hungry for assurance. You are thirsty for a word that can carry you through the nights. Archangel Michael says, heaven honors that hunger. Heaven does not shame you for needing to hear it again, and again, and again. Heaven knows what it takes to heal a heart that has been scared for so long. Let us go deeper now. Deeper into what is really at stake. Deeper into who your son truly is beyond what you see. You have known him in this life. You have seen his smiles, his storms, his habits, his choices. But there is a version of him known only to heaven. Before the disappointments. Before the bad decisions. Before the wounds that changed his eyes. Heaven saw him as pure possibility. As a light sent into the world with a specific flavor of love. As a voice meant to carry a sound no one else can duplicate. Your son carries something rare. That is part of why the battle around him is so intense. Darkness does not waste full strength on someone with no impact. Some sons carry the strength to protect. Some carry the gift to comfort. Some carry the power to create, to build, to mend what others break. Your son may not see this yet. He may call himself names that do not match who he really is. He may live below the level of the greatness inside him. But heaven never forgets original design. Heaven never surrenders its first dream about a soul. No detour is strong enough to erase that blueprint. Archangel Michael says, your son was born to interrupt darkness. To stand in places where others crumble. To offer hope in rooms that smell like giving up. Maybe through art, maybe through work, maybe through family. Maybe through a simple, steady life that looks ordinary from the outside. But ordinary lives can carry extraordinary healing. He is meant to be a safe place for someone. A voice of reason, a source of laughter, a steady shoulder. He is meant to be a picture of redemption for people who think it is too late. Do you see the irony? The very areas where he is most attacked are often connected to what he is called to heal in others. If he struggles with self-worth, he is called to lift the worth of others. If he battles addiction, he is called to help others break chains. If he feels abandoned, he is called to become a faithful presence. Darkness tries to discredit the healer by infecting the wound first. But that is not the final word. Heaven plans to flip that strategy into testimony. Every scar can become a story of survival. Every wrong turn can become wisdom for those walking behind him. Every breakdown can become a doorway into deeper compassion. My beloved child, this means something for you too. The pain you feel watching him fall is not pointless. It is shaping you into someone you never planned to become. You are becoming fierce in love. You are becoming unshakable in faith. You are becoming tender in ways that make you a sanctuary to others. You know what it is to hurt over someone else. You know what it is to keep loving when it costs you sleep and tears. You know what it is to care beyond your own strength. Heaven will not waste that. As your sun rises, you will rise. As he heals, you will discover how much you have been transformed too. Archangel Michael says, the two of you are linked in destiny, not just in blood. There are things in you he needs, and things in him you need. Together you will break cycles neither of you could shatter alone. But before that, there is another truth we must unveil. You carry not only a son in the world. You also carry a son inside your own heart. There is a younger you, the child you once were. The one who did not feel protected. The one who learned to expect loss. That inner child flinches every time you think of losing your son. Because it remembers everything it never had. The safety, the stability, the tenderness it longed for. Sometimes you confuse the two pains. The pain of what might happen to your son. And the pain of what already happened to you. My beloved child, heaven sees both. Heaven wants to rescue both. Heaven wants to hold the parent and the child inside the parent. When you weep over your son, some of those tears are for you too. For the version of you who also deserved protection. For the version of you who also needed someone to fight for them. Archangel Michael says, I am fighting for that child now. I am standing over the memories that still hurt. I am speaking a new word over the nights that stole your peace. You will not repeat everything you lived through. You will not watch your son become a copy of your worst memories. You are not stuck in a doomed pattern you cannot break. You are more powerful than your past. Because you are not facing it alone anymore. Heaven stands with you as you turn to face what once ruled you. Close your eyes for a moment within yourself. See that younger version of you, whatever age they were when they first felt unsafe. See them standing alone, scared, confused. Now, in your mind's eye, walk up to them. Kneel if you have to. Look into their eyes and say, I see you, and I will protect what you love. Tell that child inside, I may not have been protected, but I will not let fear write the story of my son. I will not abandon myself or him. As you comfort that inner child, you loosen fear's grip. You heal the roots that made you so afraid of losing what you love. You become stronger in love, not weaker in terror. My beloved child, this inner healing is not just emotional talk. It changes the atmosphere of your home. It changes the tone of your voice when you speak to your son. Instead of reacting from old wounds, you begin responding from present wisdom. Instead of repeating patterns, you start writing new ones. Archangel Michael says, Heaven is proud of you. Yes, proud. Proud that you are willing to face what hurts, instead of numbing it. Proud that you are choosing love, even bleeding. Proud that you are still reaching for hope, even trembling. Proud that you are staying, when quitting would be easier. Now, let us talk about the future. Not as a blur of dread, but as a canvas waiting to be colored. You have lived for a long time expecting the worst. Expecting bad news, expecting things to fall apart. Expecting that if something goes well, it will quickly be taken. Heaven is gently inviting you to expect differently. Not to deny reality, but to invite a higher one into it. Not to ignore risks, but to remember there is also protection. Imagine a future where you are not constantly afraid. Where you can hear your phone ring without your heart dropping. Where the thought of your son does not carry constant anxiety. That future is not a fantasy. It is a direction. A place heaven is slowly guiding you toward. You will still care. You will still love deeply. But your love will no longer be tied to panic. You will be able to enjoy the moments you do have. To laugh without secretly waiting for grief. To rest without rehearsing disasters in your mind. Archangel Michael says, that future begins with small shifts now. A different sentence spoken here. A different reaction chosen there. When your mind runs to the worst-case scenario, pause. Whisper inside, I see you, fear, but I choose another picture. Then gently imagine the best-case scenario instead. See your son walking in healing. See him living long, loved, and whole. See yourself still here, still loving, still at peace. Every time you do this, you are retraining your heart. You are teaching your nervous system that hope is not a trick. You are preparing your body to live in peace instead of permanent shock. My beloved child, this is part of the promise. Heaven does not only want to save your son's life. Heaven also wants to save your life from being swallowed by fear. You matter too. Your joy matters. Your health, your sleep, your laughter, your dreams. You have put yourself last for so long. Always saying, as long as my child is okay, I do not care about me. Heaven hears the love in that, but also the wound. Archangel Michael says, you are not meant to disappear in your sacrifice. You are meant to be alive, fully, even while you love fully. Your thriving is not selfish, it is strategic. A whole parent is a powerful force. A healed heart can hear heaven clearly. A rested mind can make wise decisions. So let this be part of your new agreement. Not only, my son will live. But also, I will live. Live, not just exist. Live, not just endure. Live with purpose, not just pain. There will be days when the old fear returns strong. When a message is late. When your son says something harsh. When a report comes that rattles you. On those days, come back to this encounter. Remember the peace that wrapped around you. Remember the words that felt like they were written with your name on them. Remind yourself, the story is still unfolding. One bad moment does not cancel a promise. One setback does not erase the progress you cannot yet see. You are walking through a long hallway, not stuck in a single room. Do not decorate the hallway like it is your final home. Keep moving, step by step, even if those steps are tiny. Archangel Michael says, there is a strength in you that surprises even the angels. You have endured storms that would have broken others. You carry a quiet heroism that heaven deeply honors. When you sit awake at night, thinking you are doing nothing, know that your very endurance is warfare. Your refusal to completely harden your heart is victory. Even when you feel like you are failing, heaven sees you still trying. Still hoping a little, even through numbness. My beloved child, there is something else heaven wants to give you. Permission to grieve honestly, and still have faith. Permission to be sad, and still believe in rescue. You have thought those two could not live together. That if you cried too much, it meant you did not trust. That if you admitted you were scared, it meant you lacked faith. But heaven is not fragile. Heaven is not offended by your tears. Heaven does not need you to pretend you are strong. It is okay to say, "This hurts." It is okay to say, "I am afraid." It is okay to say, "I do not know what to do." And then, in the same breath, say, "But I will not let fear have the final word. I will keep opening my heart to help. I will keep believing my son is worth fighting for." Archangel Michael says, tears are not a sign you have lost. They are often the sign you are still in the fight. That you care enough to feel. Let your heart exhale. Let the pressure to be perfect leave your shoulders. You are loved in your weakness as much as in your strength. Heaven's promise does not depend on you never trembling. It depends on a love that never fails. And that love is not yours to manufacture, it is heaven's to pour. Now, let me speak to those whose sons are far away. Not just in distance, but in relationship. You barely speak, or when you do, it is tense and brief. Your heart aches for the closeness you once had. For the small hand that used to reach for yours. For the little voice that used to call your name with joy. Now, it feels like there is a wall of silence. You see his updates from a distance, or not at all. You wonder if you still matter to him. My beloved child, you matter more than he can show you right now. Sometimes distance is a shield, not a rejection. A shield he uses to hide the parts of himself he does not like. He may feel ashamed. Ashamed of his choices, his failures, his addictions, his anger. Ashamed that he did not become who he promised you he would be. Instead of offering you his shame, he offers silence. Instead of admitting he is lost, he acts like he does not care. But heaven sees the truth under the mask. Archangel Michael says, do not measure love only by contact. Measure it by the invisible lines that never break. By the way his heart still turns toward you when it is quiet. He remembers more than he admits. The meals, the hugs, the sacrifices, the jokes, the small kindnesses. They are stitched into the fabric of who he is. Even if he acts hard, those threads remain. They will tug at him when he is at his lowest. They will pull him toward home, in whatever way home can be found. You cannot control his steps. But you can keep the door of your own heart unlocked. Not for abuse, not for enabling, but for real reconciliation when he is ready. Heaven will orchestrate moments of softening. A memory. A loss. A sudden moment of loneliness. In those windows, your love will echo louder than his pride. Your past acts of care will replay like scenes in his mind. Your voice, the one you think he tuned out, will rise again from his memory. My beloved child, your investment is not lost. The seeds you planted have not died. They are buried, not destroyed. Archangel Michael says, there will be surprises. Unexpected calls. Messages you never thought would come. Conversations that start awkward but end with tears and beginnings. Keep your heart ready for miracles that look like ordinary moments. A simple, "Hey, how are you?" A question about a memory. A small apology, halting and unsure. Do not overdo your fear when the first sign appears. Do not flood the moment with panic or interrogation. Let it breathe. Respond with steady warmth, not desperation. With open hands, not suffocating grip. With gentleness that says, "I am glad to hear from you." This steadiness is a great gift. It shows him that your love is a safe harbor, not another storm. Now, there is another group I must speak to. Those whose sons are in confinement. Behind walls, behind bars, behind systems you cannot control. Your heart feels caged with them. Every day measured by rules you did not choose. Every visit and call a reminder of what has been lost. You carry a heavy mixture of shame and sorrow. Shame at what he has done or been accused of. Sorrow for the potential you still see in him. My beloved child, heaven does not reduce your son to his worst moment. Heaven does not look at his record and turn away.